what sort of shenanigans are going on. Have you seen how we're lined up for the start of this race? Watch this and we'll get into it. A week last Monday saw me going to Urmston Radio Control Car Club for their first ever inaugural circuit race. They're a club that is renowned for crashing into each other. This is what they sort of like normally get up. Urmston Radio Control Car Club's been going since 1979, and forgive me if I get this wrong, but I'm sure one of the gents that runs it at the minute said the gentleman who runs the timing system hasn't missed a... I know I'm quoting and going to get this wrong. I think it's a Wednesday and a Saturday. He hasn't missed one in 40 years. Now that... certainly take your cap off. That guy deserves a medal and all our respect and praise. That's some dedication, is that? Now, obviously, they're a banger car club and an F2 car club. Now, I didn't even know that we did this in radio control circles until I started. I'd been racing about 12, 18 months. So that's what they normally do. The club is branching out into doing a bit of circuit racing. So they're using the existing carpet they've got, which is permanently laid. They've done a circuit track, which is quite small, quite narrow, quite technically challenging, and when you've got 6 to 7 cars on the track all at the same time in a circuit that's taking about 6 seconds to get round, 6 seconds, maybe I'm being generous, 7, maybe 14. Anyway, it's not a big lap, you get congested, and when you get that sort of congestion, you get this sort of scenario.
Cole, you're wandering all over the track. Yeah, well, the son of a bitch just slammed into me. No, he didn't slam into you. He didn't bump you. He didn't nudge you. He rubbed you. And rubbing, son, is racing.
Obviously, I'm teasing. There's no detriment to the racing. I'm not trying to offend anybody, just having a crack and a bit of a giggle. The club itself was uber friendly, really cool little club. They get a really good turnout for banger and F2s, and this is something they're going to start developing on a Monday. So I'm going again, hopefully the following Monday, which will be this coming Monday. I don't know when this video's going out, so who knows when it's coming out. Anyway, I'm going to try and get there a little bit more regular because it's quite a cool little circuit, and it doesn't half test you because everywhere I've gone, traditionally you have to... you work out on your ride height and your setup and your tyre additives and this, that, and that. None of that matters here because the circuit's that small and twisty. You don't really get full power on. You're not allowed to run additive, so there's no grip. It's like driving around on ice. And so I think it's a really good education for a bit of car control and learning how to be on and off the throttle, and just a different set of skills from what I'm used to. If you look back on some of the Rugmaster tracks, they're huge circuits, which is epic and brilliant. But this is completely the other end of the scale. Anyway, we'll watch my race and see how we get on. So this is different. We're all lined up side by side. I've never done that before for a final. Who knows if this will be clean. And we're off. You can all see what I mean about a really short, tight track. Now my gearing is usually... a 48-17 on my 20 turn Satan. Now I hadn't changed the motor, but I know a couple of drivers were swapping motors. You can hear me giggling. To much slower motors. They were trying 27 turns and things like that. In the end, I took a bit of advice and I geared my pinion all the way down to a 14. So that seemed to give me a little bit more control. But as you can see, really busy circuit. And within 2 or 3 laps, you're coming up on back markers. And you can see there I've span, but I've got no grip. And everybody's used to being able to reverse. So everybody just stood looking at cars that were spinning out. Now, I haven't got reverse switched on. So next time I go, I need to do that. Now, again, I've sort of spun out here, driver error. And now the world went in slow motion as I just couldn't get any grip on that little plastic section. Nobody was coming to help. I'm shedding time like mad. So like an uncoiled spring, I leapt into action, ran towards the car, dived off the podium. A bit of self-marshalling there. Now what I should have done was put myself all the way around on the other straight. And we left the track in a mess.
Thanks, mate. Track looks a bit iffy.
See, my track modification there has caught one already. And then eventually we got somebody who took pity on us and went and helped. I got to admit, another reason I enjoyed racing here was this is the first time I've ever made an A final. Now I'm sure people will say that's because not many people were there, but don't take away from me, an A final is an A final. If anybody knows, they keep catching a glimpse there of the Smithsonator. Even here where we're supposed to be having a bit of a giggle and a laugh, he was taking it seriously. Now coming down the straight, you may notice a man holding a very big plastic Tupperware tub. That is because the roof was leaking, so there was a damp patch on the track. So if you happen to go over the damp patch with your tyres, obviously the tyres are foam, they'd absorb a little bit of water, and as soon as you turned into the corner, you'd spin. So the name of the game was to go down the straight quickly, but hugging the inside barrier so that you didn't get your tyres wet and spin out. There was a lot going on this small track, I'm telling you. And I hope you can tell, because as I'm watching it back, I'm smiling like mad. So there's a little Rubbins racing. Oh, I must have just hit that wet patch. Well, the carpet's permanently laid, but obviously it's a community room that's used for other things as well, so I assume that's why they don't let additive being used, which is fair enough. Tyre wise, I was running 37s in the back, and I actually had a pair of 45s, I think they were, that I put on the front.
You can't say sorry and then laugh.
Yeah, there was a lot of that. There was a lot of comedy.
No reverse. No.
And then suddenly there was a plastic tub on the track again, catching the water. But yeah, good time had by all for the race. And I actually came third. So the race itself went as well as it was going to. I ended up coming third and marshalled myself. I think not spoiled at different venues, but as this club transitions into Monday nights, they might get a bit more organised with how they're doing marshalling, and nobody reversing on track and things like that. All the stuff that is sort of like been not my bread and butter, that's the wrong phrase. What I've been used to, and my education with toy car racing came from an environment where you weren't allowed to reverse on the track. You marshalled the race after use without exception. There were all dedicated spaces to doing it. So when you see these smaller clubs, especially on the first time of doing things can be a little bit chaotic and stuff. But you know, we'll see how it goes. To be perfectly honest, I'm grateful there's a club there. So I'm grumbling, but I'm not really grumbling. And the really cool thing to look at is if the camera catches anybody's face, everybody's having a giggle and smiling. I don't think anybody was miserable. Everybody was dead friendly. Everybody was really approachable. So big thumbs up, Urmston. Can't wait to come again.